Hey y'all!
It's your girl Jade.
It's your girl Joy. Welcome back to Jade and Joy's World. So today, you guys, we're interviewing the Dr. Long.
And we're gonna let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Thank you, ladies. I'm so excited to be sitting here with you girls today. Well, my name is Dr. Amanda Long. I'm a clinical psychologist and the owner of True Space Counseling and Psychological Services, which is where we are. We are a private practice located in Olympia Fields, Illinois, which is about 20 minutes south of Chicago. And we specialize in working with women, men, and children.
What's one piece of advice you'll give your teen self about handling stress in school?
Oh, that's a great question. I would tell my teen self to calm down and be very mindful of how I'm thinking about the test. Because sometimes we get so caught up in what could go wrong that we start to focus on what could go wrong, and that makes us very anxious. We get really, really, really worried. And so I would tell myself to calm down, take some good, deep breaths, remember the positive things that could happen, and sit in that positivity as I walk into the classroom to take my test, instead of focusing on potential failure or anything else that could happen bad.
Thank you. So the next question is, how can we tell if our friends are going through something and need support?
That's a good question. And the reason that I love this question is because sometimes, especially for Black girls, it's hard for us to ask for help, right? It's hard for us to ask for help, and we need each other. We need community. Black women and Black girls, we grow and we heal and we become our best selves when we are around love and people that love us. But sometimes we try to be too strong, and we try to be strong through everything. And although strength can be a very positive characteristic and attribute, sometimes it's okay not to be strong. Sometimes it's okay to need other people, and sometimes it's okay to lean on other people because we are human, right? And so one thing that I would say is be mindful and pay attention to your friends. And so, when y'all, aren't having a good day, you may kind of look down a lot. You may not be as talkative. Your facial expressions may show that you're not having the best day, and people pick up on that. So if you notice your friends kind of isolating or being standoffish or not just being themselves, you can ask and say, hey, are you okay? Is anything going on? You need me to support you? You need a hug? And just kind of see how you can show up for your friend. So just paying attention and offering support first to see how and if they need you to show up for them when you notice that things aren't normal or things aren't right.
What's your take on teen drama? Is it really that dramatic, or are we just growing?
Oh, that's a good one. Y'all have some good questions.
Thank you.
Teen drama. I think that in all stages of life, we go through things. And sometimes as adults, we don't always take what y'all are going through seriously, but it is. Like, it's important to you. And it's so important that it may make you upset. And so it is very important as young women to be aware of your emotions and to express those emotions when you see fit, whether it's to a parent or to a teacher or to another friend, because your emotions is like your internal compass. They guide you. So when you are in the car with your mom and you're like, Mom, I got to tell you what happened. So and so did X, Y, and Z, and I couldn't believe that, and it just made me so upset, and it just made me hurt. It just hurt my feelings. Usually, it makes people feel better when you can kind of get it off of your chest. And so, to answer your question, what y'all experiencing is real because it feels real right in the moment when it's happening. So even though it's a different kind of drama and it may look different from what adults go through, it's still real, and we should still, as adults, acknowledge it.
Thank you. Okay. What's one way to balance wanting independence but still needing help from parents?
Question. I feel like I'm saying that about everything because they are. They're really good questions. Balance independence. So I would say it's important to have check-ins with your parents, right? When you begin to realize that some things you want to do independently, like maybe pick out your clothes or pick out a movie or things like that, it's just important to have those conversations with your parents so that y'all are on the same page. Because sometimes as parents, we kind of get taken aback when you start to develop your own personality and want to do your own thing. And I know for mommies, because I'm a mommy, it's a a little heartbreaking to see our babies grow up. And so we want to hold y'all tight and we want to keep you close forever. But we cannot and we should not. But sometimes we need help when you guys are ready to make some decisions that we just may not be ready to let y'all make, right? We may not be ready, but you guys may be ready. So it's important to keep the lines of communication open and let your parents know when you want to do some things by yourself. At the or in the same breath, it's okay for your parents to still help you and to show up for you. And so sometimes we're ready to bust loose. And I remember being your age, and I'm like, I know how to, make something on the stove, and I almost burnt the house down. And I know we'll let my mother tell y'all that story. We can interview her next. But the idea of wanting that independence and being really excited and kind of getting frustrated can sometimes make it difficult, can cause a rift in your relationship with your parents, right? Because you're upset, they're upset, you want this and they don't want that yet. But if you communicate openly, you let them know what it is that you're looking to do, let them know why you want to do the things, and y'all kind of work out an agreement on what that looks like. It makes it very easy. It makes it a little bit easier for all parties involved. And to go back to the second half of the question, it's also okay for your parents to support you, right? There will be a time in your life where you look back and say, I wish my mama, I wish my dad was here to do these things. The other day, I had to make an appointment. I was like, my mama could have did this for me and she would have handled it and everything would have been great, right? But they will not be there. They won't be hovering over you to help you out as much, right? And so one thing that I'll say is enjoy having your parents because they are making life so much easier for you. But also, it's okay to be excited about doing some things by yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do we stop overthinking things like school projects or a text that we or a text that we send or a video that we make?
Yeah. Sometimes when you're overthinking, we call that anxiety. So when you are doing something and then after you do it, you're like, oh my goodness, should I have done that? Like, did I look silly? Or like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or, oh my goodness, like they're going to think something is wrong with me. That's just, those are just our nerves, and that's just anxiety. We are worried about how maybe others perceive us, right? And so one way to kind of counter that is to say words of affirmation to yourself. And so what you can do is, and maybe your parents can help, but just sit down, look in the mirror every morning and say, I am powerful, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am smart. And if you continue to say those things to yourself, not only in the morning, but throughout the day, right? Whenever you need it, it becomes true. Like it is already true, but it feels true. And that helps you during those moments of anxiety because you remember and you say, oh, wait, let me reframe how I think and remember all of these powerful words that I say to myself on a daily basis. So sometimes we can be our worst critic because we can talk to ourselves and be really mean to ourselves. So you have to teach yourself how to talk nicely to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do y'all have affirmations that y'all say?
Yes.
I saw y'all's face light up when I mentioned affirmations. What are some of the affirmations that y'all say?
Some affirmations that we do say we like read some of our favorite Bible verses.
Yes.
And
yes.
sometimes we look at each other, we say, we got this, or we're powerful.
Or like when my mama, every time somebody say, never give up, don't fall down. Like every time they mention it, it reminds me of every time you're a baby and you first start walking, every time you fall down, the baby just get back up again, try again.
Yes.
That's my favorite, like
I
every time they say it.
I love it. So y'all already know. Yep. And so when you repetitively say those things, doesn't it feel good? And it starts to feel true because then you realize that it is true and you are powerful and brilliant and beautiful.
So yesterday, I'm a wrestler. So me and my sister are wrestlers. So yesterday, we had to run 30 laps. Ooh. So back and forth is one. So we was on a 24th lap. I was gonna give up. I was so tired. So if you walk off the mat, you done. Okay. But I said, if I get off, that's being weak. I have to still finish the workout. So when I was finna get off, my coach, he said, I believe in you. I believe in you. If you get off the mat, you're gonna bring my trusting you down. So that's what got me back up. And then my uncle, he's like, don't stop, keep going. And as I was going, at first I was going very slow because I didn't want to do it. I was so mad. Then as they kept saying I believe in you, they got me faster and keep going.
Yes.
And you did more than 30.
You did 50.
All right. I love that. But when you start to talk nicely to yourself, it motivated you, right? And so when you don't talk nicely to yourself, what do you think that does?
Bring you down.
Your self-help.
Yes. Yes. Y'all got it.
What's the best way to stay confident when comparing yourself to others on social media?
Oh, yeah. So, because adults are guilty of this too, right? So, thinking of the easiest way to explain this, there's something that is called social comparison. I know it very well. I did my dissertation. Do y'all know what dissertation is? It's this long, long research project, and it's like 100+ pages, and you have to write it to get a PhD. Yeah, right? Exactly. You could do it, but it's a lot of work, right? And so anyway, I wrote my dissertation about that, about something called social comparison. And that is when you compare yourself to other people. And so we have upward comparison and downward comparison. Upward comparison is like when you compare yourself to people that you think are like better than you, maybe celebrities, or like they have more of something that you want. And downward comparison is when you compare yourself to either peers or folks that you feel like, quote unquote, you have maybe more than or better than in some way, right? So you, even how I talk about it, does that sound like a good thing? What? So yeah, like not really, because you know when you are judging others, you're also judging yourself. Does that make sense?
I don't like when people judge other people because it just make me feel some type of way.
Yeah. What type of way you think?
Like something similar happened.
Mm-hmm.
So like my best friend, I don't like how she get treated.
Mm-hmm.
She came from a school where she got treated disrespectfully, and now she's at our school. And I don't like how some of the people in our class is treating her.
Yeah.
So I just like, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yes.
Or don't judge book on a door, or don't judge a book by its cover. Because even when she first came, they was like, "Oh, she looks so mean. Just the way she looked." She was having a hard day on the second day. So I was like, if you feel like something's wrong with her, why don't you just go ask her?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like how they treat her.
Yes.
But we've been getting better.
Good, good. And you kind of answered the question, right? You don't know what people are going through, even on social media, right? On social media, do people usually post when they wake up and their hair is looking wild and they got crust in their eyes and they got the pajamas on, they look funky, right? No. So on social media, we only see the highlights. And it's so easy to compare your everyday, which is ups and downs, and sometimes you look cute and sometimes you feel smart and sometimes you don't. But it's easy to compare your ups and downs to someone's highlights. And when you do that, when you compare, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find something wrong with you, or you may even find something wrong with someone else. But just like what you said, Joy, it's so important not to judge people. And remember that we're all human. And so one thing that I'll say is, for the folks out there in social media, remember that the people that you're looking at and you're judging and you're talking about are humans, just like you, maybe your children, your spouses, your family members, and you wouldn't want someone to treat them badly. And so just because they're online doesn't make them not real people. So you have to be mindful about how you treat other people, because you want to treat people how you want to be treated, and you always want to remember that in the back of your head whenever you say something to someone else.
Thank you.
Thank you. Why do these grown-ups always say these are the best years of your life? Do y'all forget homework and chores?
So we probably say that because y'all ain't got no bills. As they look to the side and everywhere around the rest of the room. But you know, we say that because as you get older, you have more responsibility. And right now, for most young people, the only thing that you have to worry about is school, right? If you're in sports and being good people. You don't have to worry about taking care of anybody else, really. You don't have to worry about paying any bills. You don't have to worry about a lot of the little things that grown-ups have to worry about. And so sometimes it can get overwhelming. And so think of it like this. Your parents are doing all of the worrying for you so that y'all can be kids and have a great joy-filled life. Don't rush it. And y'all don't have bills, so life is better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My only bill is the one I gotta pay for my stuff at the store.
With your parents' money?
No, with mama.
Where it come from?
Your parents. How can we handle it when people say mean things without letting it ruin our day?
Yeah. So it's okay to feel stuff. It's okay to have feelings, right? Has there been a time when you let something ruin your day?
A lot of times.
Yeah. It is okay to have feelings, and it's okay for things to hurt you, But emotions are temporary, right? And so what that means is you don't want to hold on too tight to emotions so much so that you don't feel anything else. And that's for anything, right? I don't want y'all to be so happy that if something sad happens, you're like, that's okay. Everything's fine. I'm fine. That didn't hurt me, right? Because that's not really real.
Deep
right?
inside you hurt.
Yeah, right. And that means you're ignoring your emotions. So same thing when something makes you feel bad. You should feel it because it's real and it happened, but you don't have to hold on to it so tight that nothing else matters in your day. Because even though you had a moment where you were upset and maybe someone upset you, that doesn't mean that the whole day has to feel like that. Because that moment came and left, right? Which means that you can allow that emotion, you can let it go to make room for happier or more comfortable emotions. So like joy and maybe excitement and gratitude and stuff like that. But if you hold on to anger and hurt and bitterness and those things, you don't really have room to feel the happy stuff, right? So one way is to let it go and to decide, okay, that was a moment. I was upset. It upset me. But in this moment, I'm going to decide to have a better day.
Yes, like I can get really bugged up when I don't get my time alone because I feel like everyone needs their time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do need to let it out.
Yeah. Yep. And when you let it out and you acknowledge it, move on. And when you get that time, be happy, right? Be grateful and keep it moving. Does that make sense? So we're not ignoring our emotions. We're feeling them, but we're also deciding when it's time to kind of let go.
So we wrap up all the rude and mad emotions, put it on the ground, and we stomp them.
Yes. I like to think of it like this. So we say something like process your emotions. Have y'all heard that before? So sometimes the question is asked like, how long do I process my emotions? And I heard this from another psychologist colleague of mine. She said, think of it like a hot tub. You're not supposed to be in a hot tub for too long because then bad things can happen. Like you may bad things can happen. I won't go into it. But you don't want to be in a hot tub too long. You don't want to be in a sauna too long. And so you want to treat processing emotions in the same way. You want to be in there long enough that you can understand what's happening, right? You can feel what's happening, but also you don't want to be in there too long that you aren't getting out of those emotions and you're feeling stuck. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you learned a lot of facts and others things from Miss
Dr. Long. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can see every time you post a new video. Bye!